Hello guys, I'm going to comment back on Christina's post. Yes, you Christina. Hi. I actually agree with a lot of things you said, and I actually liked your comments a lot, and that's why I wanted to reply back to you. Hi. One thing you said, or a couple things you said to me that really stuck out. The first thing was keeping your mind open. I do agree that that's something that we have to focus on a lot in higher education is keeping our minds open to students' experiences before, during, and after their encounters with our programs. That was something oftentimes, believe it or not, in Winston-Salem State, we struggled with a lot, was the kind of idea of the fact that even though you might think all your students come from the same areas, they don't. I know for me, I had a lot of students who I worked with in undergrad, and a lot of them came from like historically black high schools, and they came from parents who were alumni of the university, or their parents went to college, and they came here and now they're here. And sometimes when I was a student, it was hard for them to understand that yes, we're the HBCU, yes, I'm black, but still it's not the same because I'm not from that background. So I did find some administrators who just chose not to have an open mind when it comes to kind of things, and they always bother me at times. But nevertheless, I do think it's important to keep your mind open that you never know what students are coming from, what they're going through, and that's for any race or any kind of identity in general. That's a touchy topic. Also, I think understanding how our programs affect our students. That was a very other thing that you touched on. That I really agree with as well. Um, Keep in mind how these experiences will shape them, especially with student affairs. We need to make sure we have the programs we provide so that students who deal with situations can always have someone to, I guess, look toward for a sense of comfort. So I think that's something that's very important as well. Campus climate was the third thing you said that stuck out a lot to me because I think ultimately your campus kind of helps to it plays a big role in how you identify on campus and also I guess how you grow as a person on campus. I said that in my initial video as well that I think that overall if your climate is not in the area where you can really grow as a person, then sometimes that can actually hurt your development more than help. And I think that's the case for my AAE. One of my girls here, I think because of the climate she's in, she's not able to really just grow as a person and identity, and not just identity as African American, as identity as a woman, but just as a person in general. Her identity, I guess, her growth as a person developing is not where it needs to be. And so I definitely think that your campus climate and what you go through in your campus can play a part in that, either for your good or against your good. So I appreciate that comment. And lastly, subtle racism. I've noticed that here I do grasp sometimes a little piece of subtle racism when we discuss students. I think one big case in point was when we discussed a lot of do we define UNCW as a Southern school or a Northern transplant in writers course. A lot of times the reasons why we found UNCW to be a Southern school at times were subtle racist comments. I think that was amazing to see. And it's never intentional. I think no one in our group I would hope would tend to be a racist. I hope not. I'll get you if you are. I'm joking. But I don't think anyone here intends to be racist, but there are some comments they make that has some grounds of subtle racism in them, and I think that was the case point of our experiences. But I think your example used in the book was a prime example of something that might could be considered subtle racism. Are we saying that the students are not a part of the student body? Are we saying they should become a part of the student body? What are we really saying, and what's our message that we're sending? So I think that when we work with students of different backgrounds, and not just black or white, Native American, Asian, whatever have you, we should always ensure that whatever message we're sending to them is one that's overall racially ambiguous. It's not an opportunity for us to say we're being racist toward them rather than making sure we include them. And there's a thin line between giving the message of inclusion and giving the message of racism. I think we need to make sure we're always on that right side of inclusion because otherwise it gets to be a little sketchy. So those are my comments. Thank you again, Christina, for a great post, and have a good night, everyone.